What's good? We are back, and today we have another stream. We are live. Today is March 11th, 2024. The fact that we're almost done with Q1 of 2024 is like mind-boggling to me. Simply just because I remember back in 2022, and all I kept thinking to myself was like, man, I can't wait till we get to 2024. And now the conversation is, man, I can't wait to get to Q4 of 2024 and Q1 of 2025 and things to the like. So, man, time has gone by. We are 83 episodes in. So we ain't just come around just the other day now. Here at the Vaults of Crypto, we've been doing this, really keeping track of not just the sentiment, but the data, the projects that are really pulling their weight, and just understanding how crypto works just in general, how economics work, how money works. And so this has been an incredible journey, simply just because, as I kind of share a lot of my thoughts, a lot of my research, a lot of the things that I've invested in, my convictions, just everything, I've been able to kind of see you guys grow as well. And many guys in the Vaults of Crypto, guys and gals, by the way, have, they've really killed it, man. They've really got the butter from the duck. So definitely hit the link in the bottom of this video, man. Join the Vaults, because there's a lot of information, a lot of things that are just going to help you just make it successfully through a cycle. And that's the thing. Are you confident on being able to make it through a cycle, knowing how to make your moves, in which ways, in the turns that are always coming in crypto? You've got to be vigilant and know how to handle things the correct way. So definitely come and get those returns within the vault in knowledge, and also, get your bags right, So yeah, today we have a pretty cool stream. I was thinking about this over the past couple of days. Now, I didn't stream last week, but this week I was thinking about, I want to do a little bit more about, getting my viewers, or getting you guys to kind of see that, hey, I'm human too. I'm not just some guy on YouTube, right? A lot of people that, we watch, we're just like, man, this guy just on YouTube saying this and saying that, but where do they come from? What is their experience? How do they come up with their thoughts, their thesis, their understanding, their ways of doing things, their ways of communicating? Where does all this come from? And so I want to do an AMA. So today technically is numero uno. So my first AMA. You can ask me anything that you want. I'll be an open book. And so we'll definitely get live with the comments today. And I kind of want to just, do a little bit more expressing of my gratitude to you guys today, but also giving you guys just that much more, confidence, not necessarily in me, but confidence that, hey, you're dealing with somebody that's done things, dealing with somebody that's been places, that's just not randomly showing up on YouTube. Because I know a lot of people, that's kind of, their situation. They may have gotten one or two coin picks right, and they've had these large communities following them. But to be honest, they really don't have much experience outside of crypto. And I think it's very important as an investor, not just an investor in crypto, but as an investor, to have some type of life experience, even within business, within even money management. That's a huge thing, And so, because here's the thing, somebody could make a quick little pump, make a quick, a couple $100,000 off a coin, let's say last cycle. But here's the thing, that's different than really building and grinding up your net worth. These are facts that I can talk about. Really understanding what it's like to manage seven figures. These are facts that I can talk about. And I'm not here to gloat. Like I said, I want to introduce my life journey in regards to being an investor with y'all today. And so, any questions in regards to that, but anything else, I'm very open. I've obviously has said many times here on stream that I have extensive experience playing professional football. So I got to see a lot of things on that front as well. So, definitely let's see what we have in front of us today. We have Bitcoin sitting at about 72K. It's pretty good. We have Ethereum sitting just above $4,000. So with that being said, as always, I appreciate you guys for coming through, and let's get some good returns from this stream as we kind of talk through things, and we'll kind of just see, okay, well, what in conversation is really gonna lead this stream here. Y'all have any questions? If y'all even have coin requests, I'll even do that today as well. But I'm excited, man. Every time I come on stream, and it's been pretty much every time, I keep saying, I don't know what y'all are waiting for. If you're somebody that's like just now trying to invest and you're just like, ah, man, I'm waiting for this dip, or I'm waiting for X, Y, and Z, or I'm not sure. The best way to get confidence is to know the basics. Hop on in the Vaults of Crypto to learn the basics. There's plenty of people outside of myself that can help you with that, but we have a whole ecosystem, a whole aspect of saying, okay, cool, this is how you use certain things on TradingView. I have plenty of videos that date back for a couple years now that you can even refer to on how to understand on-chain data, how to understand basics of TA, how to learn how to do some basics in researching different coins and projects. And so we have things for everybody, people that are kind of a little bit like on the higher level, but also everybody that's just maybe starting their journey, so very diverse skill set that we offer within the Vaults of Crypto. But outside of that, man, it's been a crazy start to 2024, to say the least. We've seen these ETFs really catch a lot of people by surprise. People thought there were going to be inflows, but I don't think anybody expected there to be hundreds of millions of dollars on a daily basis, positive net inflows from the ETF. So I have some conversations, some thoughts about that. But, I really want to just, like I said, I want to just leave this stream a little bit more open-ended. I do a lot of talking about, hey, when I'm seeing the data, the information, very precise, all that kind of stuff. I kind of want to kick back today, talk shop. One thing I talk about constantly is whatever endeavor in life that you're going for, there's always like know-hows to it. Like basically the know-how to, let's say if I'm trying to, I don't know, build a custom engine for a car. Right. And I've never looked into it at all, but I'm trying to start now. There's certain basics that I probably want to know first before I just start to, going on with the wrench and knowing all that kind of stuff. So that's called understanding the game. How does this work? How does capital flow work? How do large institutions think? How do they operate? How do retail investors work? How do they operate? And what about everybody in the middle? So these are things that I think are super important. I want to kind of get a grasp for that. But really quick, let's jump to BTC, and then we can get into the topics here after that. But yeah, BTC, doing its thing. Like it's not doing anything that we didn't think that it could do. Like we knew that it could do these things, and so now that they're coming to fruition, this is just all a part of the game, the movements of how people are going to move capital once they understand and distinguish when and what asset that they want at a premium during a certain time period. So as we can see today, it's looking good, 72K for BTC, and we've got to new all-time highs. And so the breakout, that's where we're at. They call it no man's land. They call it, price discovery, whatever you want to coin it as. We find ourselves in a extreme demand for Bitcoin, and thus altcoins and Ethereum as well are going to be beneficiaries of this profound demand that we have within the space for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin looking good here within the vault, right? You can get access. So let me kind of show y'all this right here. Here we have what we call the halving profit window. And so this is something that I basically put together, which kind of gives us a read on, structurally from time, not necessarily just price. So from a time standpoint, every time you see one of these yellow vertical lines, that's the halving. We have a halving coming up here in just a few days, or it seems like a few days. I want to say we're within 35 to 40 days, if I have that correctly. And, typically 40 to 80 weeks after that halving, it's typically going to be the upper region of price escalation, so it's not all about just getting the exact top. Obviously that's nice if you can do that for a portion of your portfolio, but understand the game. So rule number one, as a professional, because you can't just be like just any Joe off the street. A prudent professional investor learns how to DCA out of a market. So not looking for a particular price or particular time. One thing that I think a lot of people do, which is unfortunately a mistake, is they're asking the question of, hey, around what time will BTC be at 150K, or what's the highest it'll go on what time? It's very hard to get both together. This is kind of like a situation where we got to roll the tape. As we are seeing this thing unwind or go up in price, we have to assess as things go. And that's the way that the data comes in real time. It's not like predicting things are never a thing that I tend to do. I tend to look at things from a qualitative standpoint and a quantitative standpoint versus just a whole bunch of, hey, I feel like this, or hey, I think this, and hey, this price should be this because I feel like that. Like I really don't use too much of my feelings when I'm kind of presenting the information to y'all. So data driven processes what I find to be more of a good read, and then you bring sentiment after that when you are kind of looking into markets. So like I mentioned, the halving, typically you're going to see a price increase, so a ramping up of price in short order, and it's pretty impressive. We look back 2 cycles ago, we seen price go from $600 at the halving all the way to 20K, and in the recent halving in 2020 we seen that price around halving just right about 9,000 and price going up to almost 70K, so right under where we are now. So we're at 70K. So here's the thing, y'all. Like if we had multiple from the halving, so we had a multiple of 25x from the halving to the all-time high 2 cycles ago. We had a multiple of, just about 600%. So 6x from the price of the halving. We may be a little rich according to where we are. But the thing is that, and here's the thought experiment that I was doing. People ask like, hey, we're ahead of schedule, or, we've gotten to all-time highs before the halving. That's never happened before. Now think about that. Well, also something that has never happened before is BTC only went down, about 75%. Previous cycles, we went down much more. And then so you got to understand it takes a little bit more time to go down, but essentially it takes a little bit more inertia to get back up. Like at the worst of it, this last cycle went down 87% back here in 2015. And the one that we had previously before this one here, we went down just about like 85%. So you got to understand that there is a difference between 76% and 85%. It takes less inertia to go back up, even though it's only a 10 to 12% difference, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit easier to get back at a higher valuation. That is the way that works, y'all. So it really doesn't surprise me that we've gotten back to all-time highs just a bit quicker. But going back to what I was talking about, just in general, like we've seen how we've gone up 25x from the halving, 6x from the halving. Even if we find something to be a little bit more conservative, instead of a 6x, let's cut that in half. So just multiply this number by 3. That leaves us with 200K Bitcoin. Or even say, all right, it's cool. Let's just do a double from here. That leaves us with and a double is just 100% from here, right? The thing is, people think that, oh man, 6-figure Bitcoin is something that's so outlandish. It's really not. If you look at it granularly from a trajectory standpoint, from the lows, we've gone from 15K to 70K, give or take. So that's already 354%. What's another 100%? What is another 200%? Not much, because another 100% looks like this. Boom. And that leaves us at 140K. So, kind of get that in your head, not looking at this from a standpoint of an aspect of saying, oh man, look at this crazy price, because we need to take our minds away from looking at the unit by price and starting to do our evaluations by percentage. That's one of the things about understanding the game that I'm kind of giving y'all as a gem. The moment that you could delineate and get rid of like that price bias and start looking at percentage increase and decrease, you'll become a better investor from just that alone by itself. So a lot of people are like, oh, Bitcoin is so expensive. How can I ever buy a whole Bitcoin? It's not even about that. It's about how much percentage gain can I get from the assets that I'm holding. That's all it's about. So a little alpha coming up here in a bit. We are going to have, we're going to go ahead and have that halving, and we'll see what happens from there. Typically that is going to be a good thing in the months after. So, okay. What questions y'all have? Let's see if we can get some conversation pieces up, and I may be able to put myself back on this really quickly. Let me see if I can bring myself back on this screen. That way we can all have this conversation together. But in the meantime, let's see. Good question here. So, question: what is the best thing to purchase now? It's been hard to find a good bargain now. I'm so used to low prices. Yes. So we talk about that constantly in the Vaults of Crypto. definitely hop in to get not just one, but multiple options on what may be the better asymmetrical bets that or risks I guess you can potentially take once we are kind of a little bit higher in this pricing action. But think about something that a lot of people aren't on yet. I generally would say you'll be surprised because Say and Celestia, they're actually not running so much. They're kind of chilling out for now. So I would say, go look at those ecosystems there. And if you find something that is accumulating while BTC is going up, typically there's that arbitrage that you're looking for because, as you know, the liquidity will go into altcoins at some point in case after Bitcoin has its pump. And so you have that opportunity on that. And they're 2 cycle 1 coins. So that's something that I would consider with that. Let's see. Question. What's your bearish and bullish for BTC and Ethereum this bull cycle? Okay, so let's start with Bitcoin. Bullish. Let me take this off really quickly. So bullish, let's talk about the scenario under which that could be the case. Meaning we don't have any black swan, meaning we don't have any situation where investors lose extreme confidence in crypto. And a lot of that got out the way because of, a lot of that leverage, a lot of those bad actors are out the way. Now, there's always going to be new people doing stuff that's just not right. That's always going to be the case. But with the increasing nature of how things are being monitored, and there's a little bit more of like that, hey, don't mess around, with people's money, that type of mystique within the market now. I find that, from my thought process that we have a better opportunity to not have so much of the baggage this cycle that we might have had last cycle. We've gotten through the grasp of the SEC trying to just FUD everything that they can, but they failed. So that's out the way. So in a bullish scenario, I really generally think that we could get to that 100, like the range for something bullish. I would say between like that 180 to $230,000 range. And so from a percent standpoint, that's not that much of a difference. That's maybe like, plus or minus like, what is that? Like maybe like 10 or 20%, 30%, something like that. So that's not that huge of a difference. It sounds like a big difference, but that's not a huge gap there. On the bear side, I think we could just end up just going right around to that 120K range. So, that's still growth from here. That's still almost a double from here. But what does that mean for the altcoins? That means still like on a overall portfolio basis, you may still be looking at like another 6 to 8x on, your core foundations of your altcoins, give or take. Now, certain projects you may have or coins may go up another 20x or 30x or 50. But I'm just talking about if you have like a balanced portfolio of some larger market cap coins and also some smaller market cap coins on the bear sentiment, I think that we can just still, like another 6 or 7x from where we are today for those altcoins that you may have. Now, Bitcoin. No, we talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum, let's talk about Ethereum in short order. They have they have another upgrade coming up in 2 days. So this is going to basically bring Proto Shank. What's it called? Proto Shank. Oh gosh, what is the term? I was just doing all this research the other day. Basically, they're sharding, so they're going to be able to fit more information or bite size into their blocks that are going to make their blocks more efficient. Alongside with this upgrade, they're saying that it's going to help lower the gas costs for layer 1s and for L2s. We'll see if it's very true for the actual layer 1 within Ethereum, because that's a problem. Obviously, like I was looking earlier today to do just a general swap, you're looking at $90. That was different in the bear market. Like in the bear market, we're talking about $6-7 for a swap. Boom, boom, boom. It was super easy. Now, not so much. That's why Postchain, for example, can be a good value add to Ethereum. And essentially, the more people that kind of know about it, if Ethereum doesn't figure this out, Postchain is going to be very, very viable just in terms of being able to have those same coins that you had on Ethereum and transact them over there. So you bring your value over there with lower gas fees, But there's also a lot of other ecosystems going for that same type of liquidity from Ethereum. Like they're trying to get that liquidity from Ethereum, and they're doing that via layer 2. So like Matic or Arbitrum, Optimism, all that kind of stuff. Or just other competing chains, trying to get that liquidity and offering that proposition of saying, hey, we got lower fees here. So Outside of that, Ethereum, I think it has that momentum to catch up with Bitcoin still. And what Ethereum likes to do, I think Ethereum's still going to have its chance to shine with that dominance more than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to start to lose out on some dominance. It's just a natural factor of how markets are going to go, because like that unit bias that I talked about, people still, even institutions, they're still going to have that. And what's going to really catapult Ethereum, if it does happen, Ethereum going to have that ETF coming in the middle of the year, or Q4 of this year. So on the bullish side for Ethereum, I really can see Ethereum touching that 20K. So that range of 15 to 20K on the bullish side. On something a little bit more bearish, I find us kind of just popping up to like 10 to 12K. So, but nonetheless, if we get to 10, 12K, that's still a 2x from here, or a 3x from here. So we're at 4K. So, there's still multiples just in Ethereum by itself, in both scenarios, So, that's kind of what I'm thinking for both of those. Let's see. Any other questions? What we got? Cool. I kind of want to share a little bit of thoughts in regards to how to see things as they come. So this is a standpoint of basically having some foresight, but having awareness to notice things that other people don't. I remember last cycle that a lot of the time when people were kind of how they're feeling now, they tend to only want to focus on the things that are good. And it's a natural human thing of like saying, okay, I see that this is going up. I got to tell everybody that I know, everybody come in on this. And you start to lose risk mitigation. You start to lose core foundations that you might have started with. For example, being able to say, okay, I'm a person that I'm going to write down my transactions. I'm going to make sure I know my cost basis every time that I do something. You start to do that a little bit less. You kind of let loose on the reins. And that's what you kind of see. Like the more money that people make, or the more exuberant or euphoria that they are in regards to their investment, they lose their due diligence skills or process. A lot of that also has to do with being safe in your security measures. So same exact thing when you're bored, like let's say it's been a long bear market and you're just like, oh man, you know what? I remember I made this one wallet, but what was that? What was that password or what was that, that phrase, that key phrase that I need? Like a lot of those things kind of come into play, because like the biggest thing is making it to the other side, y'all. Like that's why we all invest. Like let's be honest, the biggest reason why we're all investing is because we envision a life for ourselves and our families that are possibly better than the ones that we have now. And most people that are somewhat of a person that's saying, hey, I need to do something about this, they're gonna say, okay, cool, like investing may be a way. And I'm gonna be candid, it is the way. Like just the way that this stuff is going, I say it all the time, it ain't gonna get easier. So, from the standpoint of saying, as I was watching last cycle, people were not up on par with their risk mitigation, jumping into this liquidity pool, that liquidity pool, chasing this yield, jumping into this random coin that dropped, 2 days ago. And the time that they spend to research is getting like smaller and smaller. Instead of taking maybe like a month or, a few weeks to research into something, they're just doing it on a whim on a day. They take part of their profits and they'll say, hey, well, I've already made, 5 G's or 10 grand or a grand or whatever on this. Let me just throw it over here and just kind of keep going with it. But what they don't realize, the mistake that they're doing, I did a whole stream on the do's and the don'ts. They don't realize that they're diluting their bags and turning it into stuff that is extremely risky. And a lot of the stuff towards the end of the bull just does not pan out. Or you stay in it far too long than what you should, because you stop paying attention to your core foundations, which is, here on the channel, we talk a lot about the short term and the long term holders. We talk about the capital rotation. We talk about several on-chain metrics, and we talk about, obviously, is it's like, all right, there's got to be a point in time to where you say, hey, I'm already up X amount. Let me go ahead and reposition, my portfolio. Maybe go into a little bit more cash. You should always have a cash position. That's another thing. Like people that are 100% in crypto are not smart. I'll be honest. because you need some type of liquidity, not to like necessarily pay your bills, but you may have that opportunity on something that, you're like, okay, cool. Like now may be that time where, I'm looking to, put a little bit more eggs in, let's say, Pulse, so I can be a validator. And so, but you can't do that. You can't buy maybe some additional Pulse, especially because there's some arbitrage things that you can do. Sometimes what we've noticed with the Richard Hart coins is like the rest of the market is going up and they're standing still. And then so you may want to say, hey, as I get these levels, I got this 10x or this 15x from this other altcoin. Let me get a nice cash position because I might be able to, put something into another quality project, not something that's just like on a whim, but something that you may have had for some time, and to build that up to maybe get to a certain level, right? You might want to have a certain amount to be validated. For an example, so that's just an example of why having a cash position at various parts in the market is very important. So just kind of another thing that as an investor, not just in crypto, but just in general, I've made a rule of thumb. Just for example, I'll talk about real estate briefly. So I have a lot of experience prior to crypto in real estate, and preferably apartment complexes. So buying apartment complexes, renovating them, understanding the cap rate, pushing those rents to be able to get a good NOI, to be able to either refinance and take equity out, or just do a sale based upon like a 7 to 10 year loan with a nice amortization, whatever it may be. And my experience in that is just like, there's a thing called having reserves, right? So for example, let's say you have some type of capital improvements that you want to do right when you buy your property. You want to have that on the side, but then you may have that leak. You may have that, those three, whatever, those three water heaters that go out, or the roof that's just, not quite up to par, that you're going to have a capital expenditure. Now, you may be able to get a tax write off it, but you still got to have the liquidity to be able to maintain that property. Because if you can't maintain it, then you're not going to be able to get the type of rent that you want. So for example, that's just like a understanding that you can look at several different markets and use the same theology, and it's going to help you just overall as an investor. So reserves are important. Having capital or cash flow management is important. So these are things that I've learned to help understand the game. And I'll be honest, like a lot of people in crypto do not understand this. They're just like, let me just buy this coin and let me just try to sell the exact top. And those are the people that end up holding the bag way past when they are supposed to be. But on the other side of it, let us talk about, because I know sometimes if you had a bad experience prior and let's say in a cycle, let's say 2 cycles ago or last cycle, each cycle you're going to learn something different. So your first cycle may not have gone the way that you wanted. So you got to like make sure you do it right this time. Don't beat yourself over the head and be like, I got to get everything so perfect, and I have to, be so quick on the trigger for everything. It's like, give yourself a little grace, right? There's going to be a mistake or two. Understand that. You're not going to get it perfect. No one is. But the thing is about getting away from those bad, huge mistakes. And so what I can say maybe would be more of a big mistake is saying, hey, I just don't want, like being in that standpoint of saying, hey, I just don't want what happened to me last time to happen this time. Because it's going to be a different cycle, and you're a different person. You're a person that understands a lot more than last time. So you don't have to over counterreact something that maybe doesn't need to be counterreacted at certain points. Let the data show you what's going on. Let your new understanding be your guide as well. And 9 times out of 10, you'll make way better decisions the second time around. And as of this far, like we have a lot of people going into like their second cycle in the Volta crypto, and they're already noticing a difference in how they're operating, making much better decisions in a much better standpoint in their portfolios. And so it's just like, they can kind of have that little bit better like perspective and like that sigh of relief to a standpoint. So it's like, I don't got to get this so perfect, or I don't have to, take every bit of profit, the moment that I have a feeling, right? Because the thing is to learn how to operate not on your feelings as an investor. So if you're operating on what happened last cycle, that means you're still operating in your feelings. And so we want to try to eradicate that as much as possible. And that's just some general advice that I'm giving to anybody, not just people in the Volta crypto, but just anybody. Don't operate on what happened to you before. Operate on what you know now. And I think that's a huge value add to being able to attack the way that markets are going to be shifting and shaping as prices are going higher. So, that's a really good thing to kind of think about as well. Let's see. Y'all have any questions? Any questions about kind of what I got going on? Any questions about what's in my portfolio, or what am I excited about? I have some things that I'm excited about, or certain things in my portfolio that I'm just like already ecstatic and I already know kind of where things are headed. But yeah, like just anything that y'all kind of have on y'all mind that y'all want to ask me in any form, any shape, just put it out there, and let's see if we can talk about it. Let's see. In the meantime, I do want to look at Metis briefly. Okay, so a lot of people don't talk about Metis, but I'm gonna keep on talking about it. Metis has done a sneaky 10x. So from the lows of September 2023. So, and it's at about like a 11x. Let me go ahead and put that on the screen real quick. So sneaky, look at that, sneaky. It came out a little bit more so towards towards the top of the bull, but from the lows, it's done a sneaky, just boop, popped up to $134, looking very nice. Now, with that being said, you have to ask yourself, okay, going into its real first cycle, layer 2, this may benefit from Ethereum's upgrade. They may have some people that are tightly knitted to Vitalik. They may or may not. The question is, what does price discovery look like for a coin going into like really its true first cycle? I do want to talk about just where is everybody net potentially on this asset. And so a good way that we can get a good idea of that is, let's just look at the fixed range volume profile, if we can. Okay. So this is the cool and fun parts about understanding what you're investing in and the positioning and where you're at in the queue. So, for example, what I have here, if we look at this, and I've had this line here basically since 2022, and I'm just like, ooh, we popped off of that, and then we came down, and I'm just like, for that second time, I'm like, okay, really anything below this is what we would call a generational buy opportunity. Why? Is because that capitulation happened and things got reshuffled. I'm DCAing in this in 2022 and 2023, just kind of knowing what's kind of coming down the pipe, because the money from Ethereum got to go somewhere, y'all. And with this thing kind of being a very low market cap at the time, especially in the back end of 2023, it's such an easy, accessible highway from Ethereum amongst, some of the other things already attached, like Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon. Now, the thing about Metis, right, is they're layer 2, but market cap is not as large. And so what do we know is when market caps aren't as large, that means they can go up a lot faster. Okay, check. Code works good, check. I've been using the network this whole time, never an issue, check. I like this. And you guys can go ahead and do the rest of the research on your own. But from here, looking at the positioning, a lot of the positioning for this, it was in between 20 and $16. But here's the thing, and I always talk about it. I did a video in the Vaults of Crypto talking about low liquidity areas. I'll do it one more time. So how do we understand and why prices move in certain rapid succession in certain areas? If you guys pay attention, here was the Luna situation. So Luna was a whole situation where everybody capitulated out of UST. They capitulated out of the leverage. Everybody's just getting like steamrolled. And we had this period from, we're talking like mid or like what the end of Q1 going into Q2 of 2022, right? And then right here was the Ethereum low in June. And so this was a period where if you look at any chart in crypto, every single coin dang near is going to have just a straight capitulation of what we've seen. We've seen almost like 3 months of straight down. And so there is not a green candle in sight. So what does that mean? There was no there was not enough demand to even stall this capitulation out. So what we find is that means if nobody was buying here or has a cost basis here previously, that means it's going to be very easy for new price discovery up and through that point. And so, for example, just as easy as it was for us to slice through, so for us to slice through here, right, on the way back up, it's very easy for us to slice through back up, right? And so, for example, once we started to really get close to these areas here, I'm just like, hey, y'all, if we have a week's candle above 40 bucks, it's going to be pretty easy for us to just make it right back up to the top of this range here. And that's exactly what we did. And that was, confirmed here on this week. So we got there in early January, but here's that consolidation. This was a golden time. You see this little batch of liquidity of more people consolidating, grabbing this coin as it dips, holding it up, right? Because this is the story, y'all. So learn to look at this and create a story out of it. You see how all of these are just sitting right at the same point, even down to the wick. This is buy demand. This is a constant bid for this asset. And the thing is, once you have a nice wave up, you can expect new price discovery, because here's the thing. Now, this is not the whole chart, but price discovery is those points of same type of scenario. There isn't nobody up there that has a cost basis at these prices. And so it's just all new pure demand. Now, at some point, it may see some sell action, and we can talk about that. But generally, there's a lot of smart people out here. They're going to ride this thing until they see Bitcoin start to stall out for these alt. So these altcoins, they're going to run. And so we can look at this move here and see just from this standpoint that, and this is when we talk about being a savvy investor, learning when the seasons, when to do something and when to not do something. But as you can see, we have some runway here. And so that runway getting through these Fibonacci levels will take us to 270, 400, 570 bucks, and just right below 700. Now, what you got to ask yourself is, okay, so we take that move from the high to the low. And remember, this is a cycle one coin. Its market cap is, let's see, what is the market cap for Metis currently? Let's go to CoinGecko and check it out. CoinGecko. So the market cap is not that significant yet, but it's not super low. So it's right there in the middle of the pack. Those are kind of things I like to look for, me personally, up 24% for the day. Nice. But it's 147 in the total ranking. It still has some inflation to come out, but its market cap is just below $800 million. It's not even $1 billion yet. So I like this. These factors are pretty good. Now, with that being said, we got to look at, okay, well, what does a coin really going into its first true bull do? Can it break past these Fibonacci levels as long as there's liquidity coming to the overall crypto market? Well, let's look at, let's look at just any other layer one. We could maybe even look at like Polygon, which is a layer two, but use a layer one for an example in its first cycle. So we have plenty to choose from. I don't know. Maybe we look at something like Aave, which was not layer one, but had a significant use case of just drawing liquidity. So it's on the Ethereum network. So let's even look at Aave. And we may have to try to get something that has a full chart. Let's see. What can we get that has a full chart? Matic. Yeah, Matic is a exception, like 151x banger. Like if y'all can see that 150 banger, that's an exception. I'm trying to think of a good apples to apples comparison. Let me see. One second. So let's look at something that's going to get some flow, or something that got some flow. Even something as simple as Cardano. Let's look at Cardano last cycle. Cardanzo. ADA. All right. So something last cycle where, it had its down draw, right? So a nice full bear market, 98% down. And that's a long way. Trust me, it really is. But from the aspect from the all-time high to the low, it got to its 2.6, right? And then it stalled out, long bear market, and now it's going back up again. So let's just have that same barometer for this asset that we're looking at for Metis, 2.6. Now, let's actually go and grab the full chart for Metis because we don't have the full chart on TradingView if we want to look at it. And I know where we can find it. So really quickly, the all-time high for Metis. Let's check it out. So Metis has an all-time high of 323 bucks. Okay, so we're still off the all-time high, 7x above its all-time low. So as y'all can kind of see, kind of came out right in that summer low in 2021. So it didn't get to experience a full bull run. So that's good because it stuck around, man, and it has a nice liquidity injection in this new cycle that we're in. So we know that this is not going nowhere, and we're on the precipice of potentially something good here. So it's at 133 bucks today. All-time high was 300 and some change. So let's actually see if we can get the full chart. So let's go to CoinTrader.pro. Let's see what we got. And let's see if we can get that full chart for Metis. All right, Metis down compared to dollar USD. All right, cool. So here's the thing, y'all. Like, see if y'all can kind of track with me as we take a look at this. So, Metis. Remember, this is not the full bull run. This is just from that summer lull going into that second peak. But even during that time, getting like a third of a bull run, we still seen it do a 74x, y'all. 74. So, that's pretty dang good for just only getting a third of a move of a bull run. Now, let's take a look and discuss. Now, what if we do a fib level and a Fibonacci retracement from top to bottom, and we do something similar to what we did with Cardano, right? Where we say, hey, cool, we had that opportunity to just make it to the 2.6. Cool. I think that this has a good chance of even breaking that and going to 3.6 or 4.2. But even that, like, from investors that were DCAing down here, let's get an average. That still leaves you with a nice, 40x, But even if you're an investor today, a lot of the times, you can find yourself really still getting some good gains. Like, for example, we make it to that 2.6 because Cardano doesn't have that many features. It really doesn't have a crazy ecosystem, like as far as TVL, as far as just stuff, all kinds of stuff that like Avalanche and Postchain, Phantom, other layer ones have. Cardano doesn't even have a lot of that stuff, They got a strong leader, but in Charles Hoskins, he knows a lot. He's been around a lot. But this, I would say, I would kind of put this in that category. Metis is AD has a good comparison potentially. It's a very, I would say, muted comparison. We're not trying to go for the most bullish comparison because I could have compared this to Solana, and Solana breakthrough way past this 4.2 fib. But even from here, you can consider yourself to say, hey, cool, I could still be a person that can still get a 500% gain on my money. And the thing is, under a short duration of time, because since the bull run is a third of the way done, really, truthfully, now you're looking at a year and some change to be able to 5x your money. That's still incredible. Now you may be in a different cohort of these people, right? Maybe not getting the 40x. So another thing I want to project and talk about, have different expectations for the money that you're putting in later into a bull market. You're going to receive less gains. That's just the way that it works. That's the way the math works. And then so if you're looking at new fresh capital that you're putting in over the next 2 or 3 months, and you're saying, okay, cool, I want a 50x on all this new money that I'm coming, or if you had that as your expectation, unfortunately, you're most likely going to set you up for failure. The higher the prices goes, the lower the gains that you're going to have. The fact of the matter. So temper your expectations. Maybe say, okay, cool, all this new capital that I'm putting in for many of these altcoins, instead of expecting a 50 or 100x, maybe I could say, okay, cool, I can at least try to eke out like that 5 to 15x. That's a little bit more in those parameters that you may want to be looking for. So let's see. We got some other things here. I love it. I love it. Why crypto? Hola. ¿Cómo está? Bien? Let's see. Backed by Solana, Galaxy with OKX and KuCoin. Okay. Oh, so you're talking about a token here? So Gary is on the Solana ecosystem. I'm about to check it out. Let's see. Another question. So what's your favorite meme coin on ETH and Pulse? I'm not gonna lie, and I've said it plenty of times on stream. Here, let me go back because I gotta definitely, you know, definitely give y'all the game here on the meme coins because it's a different season out here. These meme coins are not playing around. So let me say this. When it comes to memes, I'm all on board for the Solana memes. So, two in particular: dog with hat, dog with hat, dog with hat. Man, I'm gonna get a hat like with a dog because I'm on a boat. Solana, I would say maybe just because they're getting a lot more of the attention in regards to the memes, and they got a lot of offers in terms of saying people that can just randomly come across it versus Ethereum as of right now. Because it's so easy to play around on Solana versus playing around on Ethereum, it's costly to play around on the Ethereum chain. Solana, I think those memes are going to do a little bit better because they have the DEX volume, but they also have the decentralized exchange volume. As of right now, Ethereum's meme coins are going to just mainly focus, or I mean, they're going to get some DEX volume, but they're mainly going to get their retail buyers off of the centralized exchanges. So I noticed that Dog with Hat has been listed a couple places. That's going to continue on. It's going to be on Coinbase at some point. Bonk is another one that I'm just like, Solana meme coin, I'm all over it. And I've been on it, So, because my entry point for Dog with Hat was 30 cents. I think it's at $2 and some change now. So, pretty fun. Pulse, for example, I'm just in one meme coin on Pulse. It's just that bear token. So, Teddy Bear, it seems to be kind of getting some liquidity and some action. So, the memes are fun. Obviously not a major position, but this time around, because last cycle I was like, nah, I'm not, doing any of the memes. But you'll be surprised, man. I'm not gonna project too soon, but I'm just like, man, with this dog with hat, I don't know. I might be able to buy a car off of this thing. I'm not gonna lie, something, because this thing is fun and it's going. Its community is strong, and so yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling for the memes, amongst some others as well. I got the full list in the Vaults of Crypto if y'all want to have that conversation with all the memes. Cool. All right, let's see if we can kind of jump back into it. So we were talking about Metis. Another question. How do you minimize slippage when trading? What do you consider a large percentage of slippage? Slippage, anything more than like 2%? Ooh, that hurts. Control your slippage by using for like the Ethereum chain, like Matcha, but finding places that have enough liquidity in its pools. So if there's a coin that you're selling, you just want to make sure that, if you're going to sell it on a DEX, it's not in a place where it's like low liquidity, for example. So anything within Pulse chain, most likely, if you are going to be selling into that this cycle, you're going to want to do it on PulseX. Now, there's some other exchanges, within the Pulse chain ecosystem that you may be able to do things, but just making sure there's enough liquidity. That's how you stay away from high slippage. So it is just simply just because there's not enough. There's not enough current there's not enough current. What do we call people that are placing certain asks, I guess you can say, at prices when they're people that are trying to sell. And then so there's going to be that gap that, people definitely can get wrecked on slippage if there's not enough people trying to sell at that certain price. So, definitely you want a lot of liquidity. Another thing to kind of think about is just, do smaller transactions too, that, and just like, it's easier to do when you're not on Ethereum, right? So do a little bit more of smaller transactions, and try not to just take all your profits all in one moment. Like roll into it. So for example, that's how you stay away from slippage, is like roll into it over as there's demand coming into something. On the sell side, it's the easiest time to be selling something with very low slippage. It's just when that demand stops, that's the thing. If you're trying to sell something. So If you're trying to buy something, just make sure there's enough liquidity. So I hope that answers the question. Let's see. Fetch or CGPT. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier. Both things. Thinking about parking some profits into one of these. Man, I have this thought process that winners are gonna keep winning. This cycle around, this AI rhetoric and this AI, because it's not just within crypto when it comes to the conversation of AI. So, and I have not done the due diligence on that other coin just quite yet, so I can't give too many comments. But one thing, Fetch is going to continue to get the returns. Like, that's not going to stop. Like, you see what has happened to Fetch when people are like, oh, what's this overbought? As we can kind of see, and even it's even exceeding my expectations, because just in this past month, man, we've seen some really nice weekly candles. In the past, what we're looking at, let's kind of zoom in. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, in the past month, we've seen Fetch do a 330% jump. That's a leap, actually. Like, he just went Jordan right now. So, yeah, Fetch AI. Winners are gonna keep winning, man. Just so what I would say is, though, obviously try to look for some consolidation at least. So like this time point would have been nice, or obviously this time period here where we're kind of getting some negative momentum. If we want to look at the Heikin-Ashi trend reversal really quickly, just to get an idea of what we've been able to see or opportunities. So we can look at it on the weekly. And, we had some opportunities. So obviously back in 2023, but let's just look at this even like on like a daily. And, that's kind of what we were seeing is after those lows, we had that first situation where we popped up from 5 cents to 50 cents, so a 10x there. And then there was a time period where we came below that 100-day moving average. So like that window to, get some really good DCAs after that first initial burst would have been all in here. So, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 buy signals where you could have, potentially been able to DCA between like 30 cents and like 20 cents. So there was one little small opportunity back in February, if you were kind of paying attention. So, but like if you don't have anything in AI quite yet, I would just say, get a portion now. And that way you can say, hey, at least I have my allocation. And if we do happen to maybe get that dip, which, as we've been seeing, it hasn't been following through, as which like a lot of us like, oh, we got to have a dip. We were saying, a lot of people were saying that like a month and a half ago, and this thing ain't been dipping. So, you just got to kind of play it by ear with how you may DCA into something. The other coin that you said, CGPT, let me see if I can find that. CGPT, we can at least try to do a little TA on it. They got it on KuCoin. Let's see. Very interesting, because right off the bat, I can see that this price movement looks very similar to Fetch AI. So let me kind of bring that into the fold. Same thing, that buy opportunity would have been here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, before we look at the chart, let's look at it on CoinGecko. So CoinGecko, I'm assuming this is gonna be a new AI play. CGPT. So kind of like crypto chat GPT, I'm guessing. All right. So 18% up for the day. I mean, it's performing obviously over the past 30 days, up 153%. Ooh, what chain is this on? Ethereum? Okay. So chaingpt.org. Let's take a look. Loading. All right. Pretty cool so far. Okay. Our products. So they have products. Can we use anything today? Probably not. Provide me with a daily, market analysis. Oh, so maybe this is AI specifically geared towards asking questions for crypto. That might be something useful. ChainGPT chatbot. Okay. NFT generator. Main website. They have a DApp. Okay. So really quickly, y'all, let me go ahead. I need to go ahead and if I'm gonna connect to anything, we gotta use Test Wallet. And I ain't doing none of the. I'm not doing any of this stuff on anything that may put me at a security risk. So let's go Test Wallet for this and see if we can find something good here. We'll use the DApp for a second. So some live research. It's always good. All right, so let's launch the DApp. Maybe we could ask it a few questions. Okay, so we got the DApp out. See some price information for Bitcoin and the like. Let's kind of spread that out a little bit more. Okay, so I guess what I would maybe want to consider going for is talking with the chat bot. So this is free. Okay, so they have other things that is, okay, so other things that cost. So you have to connect your wallet to send a message. That's scary. Just to have a conversation. But we got test wallets for that, so let's do it. Can we connect this? Does it work? No, not easily allow me to connect my wallet. What's up with that? Okay. Connect. Let's go. Come on. See, this is what I don't like. I've tried to connect 3 or 4 times now. It's not happening. So question, what's your process on basically, doing research for a coin before investing? A lot of this, so a lot of clicking on things with test wallets, a lot of reading. Like I would probably go through and read this whole light paper or white paper, whatever they got. Look and see what their staking mechanism is. When do they have token unlocks and who holds those tokens currently? But so I don't like this so far. Just simply I cannot disconnect my wallet easily. You can buy it, so you can buy it off of PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and RocketX. So 3 different ecosystems or 3 different chains you can get it from. Smart contract auditor, that may be very helpful for people that are in the dev space. Smart contract generator, that's something else to think about. Let's look at staking if they have any information there. And if this is the Ethereum token, I'm gonna put this in the contract address in the Etherscan and just kind of see who holds what. So pool version, locking terms. So they have different locking terms: 45, 90, 180, 365 with different multipliers. APY, ill. Is this 1%, 3%? Gross. No, thank you. Not gonna get the contract risk for no 8% of something that's brand spanking new. No thanks. Okay. Okay, yeah, definitely want to read up more about that. Oh, snap. They got a DAO. So what does their DAO promise to do? So DAO fund value is $50 million in USDT. So that's what they're going off. Let's see if we can find the contract address for this. Let's go over to CoinGecko again. CoinGecko. CGPT. We're not going to throw the baby out the bathwater quite yet. Let's take a look. Let's see. See if this one has legs. So let's get this wallet address. See if we can pop that into Etherscan. And just look and see what does the transaction volume look like on chain. So this is a wallet address. Huh. Okay. Let's see here. This is what we're looking for. The one for Ethereum. My bad. So we'll get that one. We'll paste that in. View that. Okay. So chain point port deployer. Okay, so we got the correct token. So here is their source code. Now, I don't know if I will give all my secrets on how to verify this, but there are ways to verify this for anything malicious. So what you would want to do is copy this, and there's certain places where you can paste this, which I'll share with you in the Volster Crypto, to basically be able to look for anything that might be an issue. So this is something very important that a lot of people that are new have no clue how to do. So what I did was very simple. I've never even showed this on stream. Take the address to the coin, put it into Etherscan or whatever chain it's on, find it, find the source code. You can also find a lot of this stuff on DeFi Llama, and you're gonna need to be able to look at all the files and all the code that they have. And so how it's deployed, everything. So this is the smart contracts that, they're saying that they could be able to, on their side, be able to audit themselves, apparently. But they use Solidity to write this. And so it's pretty easy to just copy it. And like I said, there's places where you can go and double check this. So that's one of the main things that I would do. Outside of that, sometime you can, I want to look and see. Do they have a whole bunch of failed transactions? So let's see. Okay, so no failed transactions, so that's good. Certain coins, if you see a whole bunch of failed transactions, that's not a good sign. Let's see. Contract creation, no information there. Let's see. Incoming transactions. Okay. So they're doing other things, transfers with this contract address. Let's see. Because a lot of the research looks like this. Hey, what the heck are they doing with the wallet or the contract that they have deploying or accepting liquidity? Interesting. Yeah, it does not seem like they're getting a lot of action to be going up in price like how they are. Well, on chain. For example, what I would also do, since they said that you can get this on Uniswap, correct? Right? Where did I read that? You can get this on Uniswap. Then I would go to the pools on Uniswap. So let's go to Uniswap and see what kind of liquidity resides there, and then PancakeSwap. So this is what the research kind of looks like. Let's do some searching. Let's see, GPT. Okay. Finding the correct one. So we want to match this one. Make sure the address is correct. So one day volume, 1.3 million bucks. Okay. So we see some order flow here. Let's look at over the past month. So, this is showing us price. All right. So there's some order flow. So $1.3 million of volume in the last day. what's its market cap again? Market cap 200. So that's about 0.5% of the market cap. It's not 1%. Okay. Let's see if we can find the pool. I'm going to assume that its largest pairing is going to be USDT. Oh, do a limit buy here. Oh, nice. V2 pulls. Yeah, it's not going to give us any information on that. Oh, here we go. Pulls. Let's see here. So TVL, $1.4 million. So what their daily volume is, they have in TVL. As of right now, it's just pool with USDT. So no players from USDC, really. Let's look at the pool. Now here's where the real fun starts. All right. So the different volume. But this is what you want to do. So some alpha for you guys to look at liquidity pools. This is how you do it on Uniswap. All right, so let's look and see, where does the liquidity lay? Okay. Very minimal data. So primarily there's more USDT than, okay. Is this the V2 liquidity or V3? Okay, so the balance is, you're gonna have just about, of the $1.4 million in here, you got primarily of that liquidity. Well, it looks about like 60% of it. I wish we can get a little bit more data here. About 60% of it in the coin, and the other 40% in USDT. So it's overweighted with the coin. Basically, I ideally you'd kind of want to be a little bit of the opposite, because that means there's a lot of coins that are available for sale within this pool. You want a little bit of coins for sale, and then so people that are buying it will eat that slippage a little bit and push that price higher. So, but I mean, it's not horrible. Let's see, as of the past 7 minutes, do we have any big whales? So then from there, I'm looking to say, okay, cool. Who the heck is buying a lot and selling a lot? So you see these clips here, 50K for example, I'd want to look at these buys and sales for just like $1 million of volume. These 50K clips right here, I definitely want to look and see it. Do these wallets match up? Like, so do I see a reoccurring wallet buying and or selling? So that's another thing to kind of look at and say, hey, is this like a founder, or is somebody that's been inside for a long time? Because you want to look and say, okay, hey, what does their cost basis look like? So, for example, the biggest buy that I seen was at 50K or 45K not too long ago. And this is just as like the last few hours. I'm sure there's something a bit larger if we kind of stood here for another 20 minutes and look. But for time's sake, we won't do that. So let's look at this wallet and see what they've been doing. So they have 113 ETH. So they've got a nice bucket of ETH. They got a whole lot of other coins too, obviously, like a whole bunch of filth. But it looks like they're just adding liquidity or either pulling it. Okay. Or, for example, so who the heck is Jared from Subway ETH? Okay. Interesting name. So these transactions are not regular. So MEFBot, you see this right here? So this guy has a bot. Interesting. Okay. But no, so for example, just this is something like that due diligence to do as y'all are looking at things. So don't just look at price, right? And things that you're looking for that might be bad. Like for example, if you've seen like one coin or like a coin that has like one person that you just notice like as things are kind of rising, they're selling like major clips and stuff like that, and you go to look at look at their wallet and you see that they got like most of the coins or something like that. Like that's something to look at as if things are in a new type of regime with a new coin going up. So be wary of stuff like that. But it's interesting. You want to go look at this on PancakeSwap too. So I don't like the fact that I couldn't connect my wallet. Let me try one more time. Connect the wallet. No. Guess not. So it's not letting me connect that wallet, but it will be cool. Like what it's saying to prompt it, say, hey, give me an update on this ecosystem, and if it's going to be able to aggregate stuff specifically for crypto, that might be pretty cool. So I don't see anything glaringly bad about it. Its price chart looks pretty good. So yeah, I would just want to test it out for like at least like a week or so before making any decisions. But definitely, see if you can kind of get some more information. So go to all this stuff. Click on every last one. Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, everything. YouTube. Let's see if they have anything on YouTube. Full, just a research session here. And hopefully this could give us some questions. All right. So this is the first video. So I like to watch the first video. Let's check it out.
My name is Tonio, and I'm the head of content and media creation at ChainGPT. In this video, we're going to take a look at what is ChainGPT and how you can utilize it for your own Web3, crypto, or blockchain business. So what exactly is ChainGPT? ChainGPT is an advanced AI model specifically designed to help or assist with any questions you have regarding the Web3, crypto, or blockchain world. So it is essentially an all-in-one solution that can help you with a wide range of tasks. World of crypto, blockchain, and Web3, this is something you definitely do not want to miss. While there's really no limits to what ChainGPT can do, let's talk about a few of the major points that could be really helpful to make your business thrive. So first, ChainGPT can write and develop smart contracts for you. And this is incredibly useful for anybody trying to create their own decentralized application or DApp. So with ChainGPT, you can easily create smart contracts that are reliable, efficient, and secure. ChainGPT can also help you with risk management and AML, which is anti-money laundering. This is crucial for anybody dealing with cryptocurrencies, as it is required to stay within the regulations. So ChainGPT will help you to navigate through this complex landscape so that you stay on the right side of the law. So if you're into charts and technical analysis, you will love what ChainGPT can do for you. It will help you to analyze the market trends and make the right trading decisions. And this is especially important for people that are trading and that always want to stay on top of the game and have the most relevant news up to date. ChainGPT also excels at advanced AI training. That means ChainGPT can help you to train your own AI for your own business purposes. And this will allow you to stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly and fast changing field. So let's say you are a developer. In that case, ChainGPT will be an incredibly useful tool for you. For example, ChainGPT can help you with code explainers.
Interesting. I mean, and so we don't have to watch the whole thing, but interesting proposition for sure. I think the fact that it can write a smart contract is pretty cool. But same thing, I couldn't test it out, right? Couldn't connect my wallet, so that was an issue. Might have to try again later offline. What else I got? Any influencers that they're paying? Nothing to think about. I don't see anybody that looks recognizable. Let's go to videos. Anything recent? So it looks to be the same guy here in all these videos. Let's see. What looks like a good topic? ChainGPT pad tutorial. Not really. I mean, to be honest, like they're getting views. Like, look at the view count here. There's a lot of people, definitely watching. The question is, let's look at the comments though.
Hey everybody, and welcome.
I'll give it a subscribe. Why not? Yeah, no. Does this look fake? Ask yourself, does this look real? And the thing is, if everything that you see is positive, I don't know. And then so this is something to think about, right? Everything is positive, so good, super. And then sometimes even click on some of these people's YouTube and be like, hey, does this even look like a real person? Right? Like anybody with their real personal,
hey everybody, and welcome to
face, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. So like I'm just kind of taking you guys through, like I'm looking for fishiness. I'm looking for things that just don't look right. And if you find more of those things, then you kind of need to say, okay, maybe I don't need to be so invested into learning about something. But if you don't find anything, that's, those are all positive things. So yeah, I would probably go through and watch at least like 10 of these videos, if not more. If I got the time for like one whole day, I'll watch all of them. But definitely something to look at. And yeah, interesting there. So, I mean, the net, just trying to, looking at this price. Cycle 1. And it's in price discovery. So, I to say which one I would do, I think they'll both probably do well. But obviously, you will probably get a little bit better gains if this is able to latch on with all the other AI stuff. And so one thing that I was kind of saying, I need to say, okay, how does this latch on to the other AIs and like what's the movements? So another thing of how you compare is you want to put two panes on your trading view. And on this other pane down here, let's go ahead and just put fetch AI. So fetch AI, fetch. And just kind of compare and contrast, what does the price movement look like for both? And did they pick up at the same time? Did they not? X, Y, Z. So let's see if we can kind of get this on the same plane here. So we have this lined up pretty good. Like, when things are going sideways for fetch, things are going sideways for CGPT. When that liquidity came, CGPT took off a little bit sooner, then fetch took off. But, which one had the bigger pump? So let's measure from like, this point, January 24. So January 24, 2024 to today. So during that time, we see, 330% for CGPT. During this time, we see 435% for fetch. So, I mean, there's a little proof in the pudding too. Fetch AI is still outperforming and it's been out even longer. I kind of want to lean just to say, and it's safer, in my opinion, just simply because it's been out longer. It's been vetted a little bit more by more people. So if it's getting higher gains, it's already been out for a whole cycle and some change. I would venture to say just go with Fetch AI. And reason being because it has AI in the name as well. A lot of people are doing their Googles of retail investors, and they're going to type in Coinbase or Kraken AI, and then that's probably going to be the first thing that pops up. So if it's me, I may lean a little bit more towards Fetch AI. So hope that helps. Yeah. Cool. First, thanks for the knowledge. Second, I have a couple of thousand to deploy in Ethereum, but it continues to rise without doing a standard dip. After a couple of weeks, what's the next big dip time span? That's a hard thing because no one can exactly tell you how long a dip may last or exactly when it may come. I would say because we are getting a little bit overheated, I would think a little bit more about stagnation more than serious dip. So when it comes to Ethereum, I would consider just just always, like if you have some money, think more about time than price. And so one of the biggest things that may allow a lot of inflows to Ethereum, just like how it did for Bitcoin, is that ETF. And that's coming potentially in May. So just think about, hey, what kind of things can I do before May? Um, if you have a few $1,000s, I would just honestly say, don't wait for the dip. Just do a third of it now. Just boom, get money in the market. Then the other 2/3, you gotta, do your qualitative and quantitative analysis in many fronts. And if you need help with that, jump in the Vaults of Crypto. We do that every single day in there. And so, yeah, that's what I would suggest. But cool. So we did a lot of research here. I'm glad I had a chance to do that, just to kind of give y'all a little taste of, my process and all of that good stuff. So, cool. Do y'all have any other thoughts? We've been on here for an hour and some change, hour 20. Let's see. Any other questions? Anything else? Yeah, man. Understanding this game is very important. Doing the work that most people won't do is what's going to separate you from the pack. In crypto, a lot of people are going to make money, but who's going to really kill it out here? And it's the people that show up day in and day out, not refusing anything less than greatness, truthfully. And being great in crypto is really just not being stupid. Like, I'll be honest, just don't be a person that's just going to go with anything that you hear, or just go with anything that you feel. You have a process, you have a method. Like I said, if you need help creating that framework, hop in the Vaults of Crypto. But this is for real, y'all. Like, y'all understand, like, TradFi is coming into crypto. They know how to make money, and they know how to shake people out too. So if your game is not on point, they're going to eat your lunch. So you need to become a savvy enough investor to make sure that you know what you're doing, and you can really get out here and kill it yourself. Because guess what? Nobody can do it for you. There's people that can assist, but only you are clicking the buttons, So you got to be able to have the right barometer to make your decisions. But yeah. So yeah, man, I shared a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I think. It wasn't so much data driven. We did a little bit of research here too. But this is one of those streams that I'm just, like I said, I'm grateful to just be here and just talk with you guys. I really don't have something like a big statement for this stream of saying like, hey, this is the topic of the stream. Like, because last time we talked about stable coins, how important they are, how to do the data process behind that. We talked about everything, capital rotations, all kinds of stuff. So, moving forward, yes, I'm getting the little intuition of saying, like, things are just getting, for the short term, getting a little overheated. But that feeling that even I have could still be wrong. We could still be going up because these ETFs are not playing around. All you got to do is track those ETFs on a daily basis. And if we have a situation where we see Bitcoin go down like 8 to 15% randomly in a day, it's probably just due to those ETFs just not having a net positive day. But you want to look in succession. So if you see 2 or 3 days where they're net negative, then that'll be like, okay, we might have some dip coming in. So that's something to look for, basically. If you guys are wondering when a dip may come, look at the inflows for the Bitcoin ETFs. If we have negative days on the net on those, and we find 2 or 3 in a row, that may be the precipice for altcoin dip as well. So that may help you guys just to kind of think on that situation. All right, y'all. Well, with that being said, man, as always, I appreciate you. This has been an incredible journey. There's a lot of things that are still going. Like we talked about Metis, same thing. A lot of things that are happening in this market to where people talk about the same stuff. I don't want to talk about the same stuff. I'm introducing some new coins to you guys. I have a whole list of new stuff like in the Vaults of Crypto that we've been talking about, like where there's like not a lot of focus on it yet. Being ahead of the trend and being ahead of liquidity, and for good quality stuff, that's how you make the returns, and that's the key, right? So getting the information, don't waste time on getting smart. Like, that's what I will say. Like, too many people waste time on getting the information and getting smart. Being smart is a very good thing. Like, don't underplay it. Like, knowing what you're doing is a very good thing. Don't be the person that's like kind of sure but kind of not. Shore your game up by knowing what to do. So once again, thank y'all for coming through. I'm definitely gonna look forward to the next stream. Probably be able to hop on Wednesday or Friday, maybe both days. We'll see. But yeah, Bitcoin pumping 72K, Ethereum 4K. We'll see what happens next, y'all. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.